Oh, you caught me with the cooking line. Welcome back to Cooking with Dave. You know, it's hot. And I think everybody's hot here in the state of California, maybe even across the country. It's so hot outside, I saw a jackrabbit carrying a canteen. And earlier, actually, there was a couple of hummingbirds pecking at the window going, "Hey, do you have any cold sugar juice in here?" My bride is laughing at this point. But anyway, what I'm going to do today, because it is so warm, I'm going to do a cold pasta salad. I've done a couple of different things here. I've got these little squiggly noodles right here. I think they call those fusilli or something like that. And then I have some tortellini, some cheese tortellini that I had cooked up earlier. I par cooked these off, make them a little bit on the al dente side. And what we're going to do now is we're going to combine some things together and show you a little bit about that. So the first thing we're going to do is, my bride actually brought home these wonderful green beans that were from one of the her co-workers had grown them. I poached these off earlier in a little bit of chicken stock. So they're nice and crunchy. Did you hear that? That's crunchy. I'm going to pour those in. I've got some fresh corn that I cooked off. I cut off the cob. As you know, I do that in a lot of different dishes. I love fresh corn, and what I like about it is that it's really sweet and adds a lot of texture. It adds a lot of sweetness to the excuse me. That bean got caught in my throat a little bit. I better get some cooking wine going on here. My bride is smiling at me now. You're gonna love this woman, I'm telling you. So along with that, as you probably noticed this morning, I was out harvesting tomatoes with the crew, and these are the tomatoes that I got. Most of these tomatoes are really small, as you can see. And so rather than cut them in half, well, I cut this one in half because that was one of the big overachievers that I had out there. So I cut these in half. I'm going to put them in whole. And the reason why I like to put them in whole like that is because they kind of pop in your mouth. And it's really fun to watch the guests, if you have guests over, try to get them on the fork because they're slipping all over the place. We're going to mix this up just a little bit, like that. Then I've got these olives, and I think this is the Portuguese side coming out in me, but these olives that have a little pimento in them, I could have cut them in half, but I didn't want to lose the pimento in them. So we're going to dump those guys in there, put that over here. A little bit of red onion. Red onion is always nice because it adds a nice little flavor to it that I enjoy. One of the things I cook a lot with, as you probably know, is I like Italian sweet peppers. They give a nice bite to the back end of it. I also mixed in some fresh mushrooms that I had. I didn't have too many mushrooms today, so I put in what I did have. I minced those up earlier. We're not going to mince anything. We're going to mince and mix. I get those two mixed up all the darn time. So we're going to continue mixing this up. As you can see, I have an avocado out here. And you're going, "Dave, why is there an avocado out here?" And I'm going to tell you why. I would like to be putting avocado in this, but unfortunately the avocado is about as hard as a baseball. So we're not going to be putting that in. So there's my bride smiling again. I tell you, I love this woman. And now we've got all that in, and you're thinking, "Well, Dave, there's nothing in here that's going to really make it flavorful." Well, guess what, folks? Here's where it comes in. This is what I call a wet rub, and I'm going to see if my bride can, scoop in on this. What I have in here is fresh oregano, basil, garlic, olive oil, and salt, pepper, and I think that's it. I believe that's it. You can use this for lots of things, and what I do with it is if I want to make a salad dressing as an example, I'll put more olive oil in, mix some balsamic vinegar in, that's this stuff right here, and then mix that together, shake it really well. It does really well over the top of like sliced tomatoes with some buffalo mozzarella, that's hard to say, isn't it? And then, or you can mix it with just a regular, like a lettuce, like butter leaf lettuce or anything like that. But I am going to put it right inside here. And I'm going to just mix a little bit of that in. And you're probably wondering, why are these lemons here, Dave? And I'm going to tell you why, just for the show. I should also say, before I get too much farther into this, that this cutting board, and my bride I know will pan in on this, was made specially for me by Joe Ryan. And I want to thank him and his wonderful bride Anna for singing this to us. And when I got it, my bride said to me, she said, boy, that is really nice. It's like we should hang that on the wall. She goes, you're not going to actually put a knife on that thing, are you? And well, no, we haven't. So Joe, thank you again. I'm going to start mixing this up a little bit. I think we're going to need just about all of this wet rub that I made. Now I'm going to ask my bride to come in a little bit more, and now we're going to kind of go top down a little bit. If we can bring the camera up and go down so you can see what this looks like. And I'm telling you, if we had smell-o-vision right now, you guys would be on fire. As you can see, we've got a nice balance involved here. I'm going to take a little splash of balsamic vinegar and add that in because I like the way the flavor comes in. What I don't like to do is to put too much in, because if you don't eat this all, and we're not going to eat this all tonight, is that it tends to kind of get a little soggy in there. I would like a little bit more olive oil, and a little shout out to one of my bride's co-workers who makes this olive oil. She also has a wonderful vineyard that's local to us. We have a bottle of wine by her that is a Primitivo that we may enjoy, I don't know if it'll be tonight, but it's going to be darn soon, because that is what we call cooking wine. All right, we're going to mix this around a little bit more. Like I said, it's hotter than all get out in this kitchen. I'm going to take that. I'm going to ask my bride to pan out a little bit, please. I'm going to pick this glass of cooking wine up. I'm going to show you this is a nice cold pasta salad. What I'm going to serve that tonight with is this Marsala glazed pork loin chops that I cooked off a little bit earlier in some cast iron. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Something you could do with this though is we could julienne these out and add those into the pasta. You could do that over the top. I plan later, before we serve this, is I'm going to take some cheese and put a little cheese over the top. I don't do that before I serve it because the cheese tends to absorb into the meat, into the pasta, and I don't care for the way that it stores in the refrigerator. So I always put the cheese on at the time that I serve. But with that, the meat together, they make a wonderful warm or hot, damn blasted hot, boiling hot, damn hot here meal. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Cheers to you. Thank you for tuning in.